My name is Molly Privet, and I will be speaking to you about dyslexia. Oftentimes, when you hear the word dyslexia, the first thing that pops into your head is the reversal of letters, but it is so much more than that. Dyslexia represents the disconnection between intelligence, education, and reading fluency. It is commonly thought that boys are more likely to have dyslexia than girls, but according to the U.S. Department of Education, more than 2 million students ages 3 to 21 have a learning disability. It is amazing to think that with such a variety of people dealing with this disorder, it is not recognized as a disability within the school system. These dyslexic students are not getting the accommodations required, causing them to perform poorly in the classroom, therefore putting their futures at risk. Dyslexia should be considered a learning disability because of the effects it takes on the brain and the challenges that come along with it. If a person is in a wheelchair, it is obvious that they have a disability. In contrast, dyslexia is a hidden disability. There is no external sign to prove the person is dyslexic. Recent scientific findings have shown that there is a biological difference between dyslexia and typical readers. However, until functional imaging, these differences remain hidden from view. Most of the areas responsible for speech, reading, and language processing are on the left hemisphere of the brain. Therefore, most studies are focused on the left side of the brain. These studies state that there is a failure in the rear brain systems to function poorly during reading. Furthermore, many people with dyslexia often show greater activation in the lower frontal areas of the brain. This information often leads educators to wonder whether brain imaging can be further used as a diagnostic tool to identify children with reading disabilities in school. With a dyslexic person can be very bright, pose a strong intellect with understanding, reasoning, and analytical abilities, but still read slowly, speak with mispronunciations and hesitations, and spell poorly. It's easy to dismiss this fact that such a smart dyslexic person have the problems easily, but also wrong. Dyslexics have to work harder at reading, it's more tiring, and it takes longer. At the same time, research have shown that dyslexia person who is a slow reader can also have a higher level of comprehension, providing the student has been allowed extra time to slowly read the words on the page but dyslexic students have earned good grades, but then when they request accommodations on a high standardized test like the SATs, they are rejected. The student is often told, your grades are too good, you're not disabled. It's like telling a person who is in a motor impairment but able to cross the street with the aid of a wheelchair or a cane, you could not be disabled because you got to cross the street. Forgetting that the reason they got across the street was because they had an accommodation of a wheelchair or a cane. What is critically needed to protect the rights and futures of bright dyslexic individuals is often passage of the law recognizing that dyslexics is in the diagnostic category. This law would reflect the science of dyslexia rather than myths and prejudices. In order for this to happen, it is critical that you acknowledge the knowledge of dyslexia becomes widespread. Educators also need to take action in terms for reading instructions and accommodations to offset this disconnection. Even if you are not involved in the school system, there are plenty of ways you can help raise awareness from your home. One way is to research and share on Facebook with your friends. If you are more interested in becoming more educated on a subject, you could always attend a dyslexic awareness event. Even if you cannot attend an event, make sure you wear red on October 15th of next year, which is World Dyslexic Day. Thank you for your